Good evening. I was going to upload another video, but instead I got caught thinking about something else that I wanted to try and talk about. I've tried talking about it a few times already, but it's kind of hard to word it in a way. Anyway, I nearly relapsed last night, nearly. You get, I suppose you know what it's like, you get ideas and things like that, and then one thing leads to another. But I stopped myself, before anything got too silly. But I was kind of taken aback by that. If you run in a good streak, you kind of don't expect the unexpected to happen. But sometimes these things happen, and sometimes we get in a position where we may fall. So as a result, I had to take a bit of time out just for myself. I've avoided things like Facebook and social media and stuff like that on a whole. I'm trying to detox from that a little bit today, just so I can set myself straight and think about things. Well, I check my notifications on Facebook, but that was about it. Oh, and I sent someone a message. Anyway, so there's something that anyway, after I nearly relapsed and I stopped, I got caught thinking about something later on that night. Last night. Is that this might be a bit deep for some, and some people may not understand, and that's fine. But anyway, I'll try my best to explain it. In the Bible, bear with me. In the Bible, Jesus says that he says, if you look on a woman with lust, you commit adultery with her in your heart. Women are to be respected and honoured. And I'm not like in favour of the type of feminism that you see on the internet these days, and I'm not like a white knight or whatever they're called, but I'm not in favour of men going their own way movement either. So I'm not trying to push an agenda either side, but what I am trying to say, and I'm speaking as a whole, is that people should be respected and honoured, and as men especially, we should be respecting and honouring women, because a lot of women, not all, but a lot of women see men as providers, and that they kind of look up to men as maybe leaders, or providers, or people that they can go to for guidance, or people that will lead them in relationships and that kind of thing. As I said, not all women do. Okay, so I'm not trying to push any agenda, but a lot of women do look at men like that, and it's our responsibility, not our right, it's our responsibility as men to be able to respect and honour women. Because what's happening in pornography is a woman will take something very precious, which is a sexuality, something very pure, and she'll present it. And of course the nature that is involved in that kind of stuff with pornography, she'll present sexuality, and it gets destroyed. The purity of it, the honour behind it, the righteousness behind it, what pornography does, it degrades all of that. It degrades it. But the thing is, we consume it. And we, in effect, we participate in that. We participate in the degrading of something that's honourable and something that should be respected, and something that we as men should be respecting, because it's our responsibility to respect and uphold and honour and protect. And I suppose it goes back to, what I said about Jesus, in that he said, if you look on a woman with lust, you've already committed adultery with her in your heart. We effectively participate. If we consume something, then we're participating in, I suppose, pushing it forward, and involving ourselves in that way. So, for instance, if you think about the most viewed video on YouTube, I don't know what it is at the moment, but if you take the most viewed video on YouTube, it is the most viewed video on YouTube because people have viewed it. Well, of course they have. But the thing is, it wouldn't have reached the status of being the most viewed video on YouTube if people hadn't been involved in pushing it along to make it the most viewed video. So the reason that pornography is made, continues to be made, the reason why it's such a big industry is that people consume it. They only keep making it because people keep consuming it. And like any business, if people didn't consume it, then they would stop making it. I suppose the more of it that is made, the more purity and honour is lost. And if we participate in the consumption of that, in the consumption of pornography, then we are taking part in stripping something very honourable and very respectable from someone. And this is what I was thinking of last night. You don't have to use necessarily words or actions in order to have an effect or impact on something. All you have to do is to be, sometimes even unconsciously involved in something for it to have effect on you, and effect on the other person. You see, this isn't, I suppose, it affects, that sort of stuff affects us. It affects our self-respect. It affects your self-esteem. It affects your confidence. It affects the way that you talk to people. It affects all kinds of things. But at the same time, it affects, it's like a domino effect, right? It affects everyone. It affects the people that do it. It affects the people that consume it. But yeah, us watching that stuff is participating in the damage of something that should be respected and honoured. It's a terrible waste to waste someone, to use someone else for your own selfish gratification and your own needs, and your own desires. It's a real waste. It's a selfish, terrible thing to do. And that's something that I had to remind myself about last night. I suppose sometimes it takes that harsh reminding. It takes that harsh reminding to think, that you're destroying something good. By involving yourself with this, you're destroying something good. You're destroying something that God's made good. Anyway, I hope that makes sense to some people. If it doesn't, that's okay. Feel free to ask questions. But, maybe someone will get what I'm saying. Anyway. Thanks for watching anyway. We're all on a journey with this. We all have struggles, and we all have different revelations towards it.